AITA for sharing my family's 7-year secret knowing it will only hurt people? Trigger warning. I, 26F, was essayed by my uncle 7 years ago. The day that it happened I told his wife, my aunt, my other aunt, and their cousin as they were all with me the night prior for a birthday dinner. It was an emotional day but they all said they believed me and helped me tell my parents. A few days went on. Both my aunts made it very clear they didn't want me to tell anyone else. My aunt who married my uncle told me that these things happen all the time and that I don't want to break up a family, she's pregnant, and heavily emphasized that if my grandmother were to ever find out it would probably kill her as she's elderly and frail. This hurt a lot because they were some of the closest family I had. I have a difficult relationship with my mother, so my aunts and grandma stepped up in my raising with my dad, and I probably spent 1/3 of my life with them and was the only child in the family. My aunt decided to stay with my uncle because he didn't mean it. He thought I was her. I was 19 and she was 40 and we had totally different builds. So the Thanksgiving after the assault she told me he'd be going just to give me the heads up. Obviously I didn't feel comfortable so I skipped, and the same happened for Christmas, and once a year had gone by I found I wasn't invited to anything anymore and got pushed out. I tried talking to my grandma but every time I stopped by she wasn't home, stated by my other aunt who lives with my grandma. I tried phoning, no answer, and I even wrote a letter that didn't get a reply. 2 years later I ran into my grandmother and aunt at the supermarket and my grandma told me she missed me and doesn't understand why I left and stopped talking to her, and she asked if she did something wrong. I mentioned the calls and my aunt gave me a look that made it clear she was intercepting everything. I was devastated. I told my grandma I'd been busy with school and immediately left so I would cry. I watched through social media my family move on in life without me as if I had never existed or the assault had never happened. I ended up finding a great support network and I decided to press charges. I told myself after everything I'd tell my grandma and our extended family what actually happened, but between COVID and stalling tactics from my uncle's lawyer the trial has taken 5 years. There's only one more day of court left and then I'm finally free of everything and able to move on. My only question is, will telling people what actually happened help me move on? Or am I petty because I know it will destroy my ex-family? I should also note that even if I tell everyone the truth I have no interest in integrating back into that family, and though I love my grandma I did move 3,000 miles away, so how I would be able to rekindle that relationship after so long. I know it shouldn't feel like it, but with it being from so long ago it just feels like I'm shaking up the past for selfish reasons. Any advice is appreciated.